looking at mental health like a physical health, we cannot downplay the role of a human being based on job title. The shift in company culture always begins with you, begins with us.
Okay. All right, welcome to another episode of Spill the Tea, where we bring to you meaningful conversations with inspiring leaders, change makers, and industry experts who are shaping the way we work, live, and thrive. As part of Tropicana's Offline 16 campaign, which champions the importance of mental wellness and meaningful human connection, we're continuing the conversation by exploring how individuals can prioritize their mental and emotional well-being in today's fast-paced world. In today's episode, we're turning the spotlight on the growing role of wellness retreats and dedicated healing spaces in supporting mental health. Joining us is Ms Sue Jen Cheong, Managing Director of The Kuaya, a newly established mental health and wellness center in the heart of Kuala Lumpur that's redefining psychological care to a more compassionate, holistic, and stigma-free approach. We'll be discussing the inspiration behind The Kuaya, the evolving mental wellness landscape, and why creating safe spaces for reflection, healing, and personal growth has never been more important. And as our loyal T360 members, don't forget to check out the Kuaya's exclusive promotion available on our app. If you haven't downloaded T360 yet, I suggest you better hurry and download it now and unlock this special offer from the Kuaya and also many others. With that, thank you very much, Ms. Cheong Sue Jen. Please welcome to Spill the Tea. We're delighted to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you. You as a managing director here at the Kuaya, what does your role involve on a day-to-day basis?
It's a role that is evolving day to day because I look after operations. So I manage practitioners, I manage client care, I coordinate client care, not directly coordinating. And we have something that is very different at the Kuaya. Mm-hmm. We have a multidisciplinary team.
Okay.
Which means to say, when a client comes and see a practitioner, be it a psychiatrist, be it a psychologist, or a counselor, what happens is there is a team who is supporting the client care. Meaning to say, the psychiatrist can be the one directing directly in front of the client, but the treatment, the variation in treatment, how it can be coordinated into multidisciplinary people, practitioners,
Understood.
Helping into delivering better care. So conventionally, centers out there, right? They will have all the practitioners of these those specialties that I've mentioned. They will have it housed under one roof. But what will be typical will be the care of the client will be instructed or directed by a certain party.
Okay.
And conversations don't happen. So my job as managing director, one of it is to coordinate these conversations and to make sure that clients' expectation, retention of clients in terms of, we have had situations and experiences where clients come for one session or clients have tried one session elsewhere that leaves them with a bitter aftertaste. Thereafter, when they come to us for services, they think therapy is just, a ranting session, which is not,
okay.
Right? So in terms of psychoeducation with the clients, it's part and parcel of operations. And then what happens is that we develop programs in terms of workplaces, delivering and customizing bespoke plans for organizations, families, as well as individuals. Because mental health is not a single dimension or single approach, right? Sometimes, medication can alleviate some of the symptoms, right? Sometimes it can be helpful when, especially if, let's say, the client has been sleepless for X number of days, right? Sometimes medication just to alleviate, just to recover the sleep, and then get them ready, stable enough in terms of their mental health to go into therapy. Because if you have somebody who is, so deprived of sleep, you're not going to be able to speak, and you're not going to be able to do any effective therapy with the client.
Okay.
Right. So so part of my job is really to coordinate and really make the clients feel safe, contained,
Okay.
and we hold them, right, and hold them throughout their journey with us. There has been cases or situations where I have to coordinate care between the stakeholders. For example, for a child who is neurodivergent,
Okay.
sometimes it involves the schools, it involves helpers, nannies, parents who can or may not be busy. And then there are also the tutors, they might be going for occupational therapy somewhere, speech therapy somewhere, and all the other relevant interventions, in other places. So part of my job is also to make sure that the coordination of care plan, once we have given a diagnosis, that it's executed, and then the feedback takes place, and then thereafter improvements or adjustments can be made for the child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So we've spoken about, actually, we've jumped very far ahead,
Okay.
about how you are different than other places, and also kind of treatments that you're doing here at the Kuaya. But now let's talk a little bit about what is the Kuaya? What exactly is the Kuaya, and what gap are you guys trying to fill?
Okay. Well, I think in terms of Kuaya, the gaps will probably, mental health in Malaysia. We have had families from Europe,
Okay.
UK, Australia, Taiwan, China, and we have had, very, how would I say, differing feedbacks. I've had families move from the UK back to Malaysia,
Okay.
and they said that they are not able to get the care that they need in the UK. But back to your question, you see, in terms of the mental health, what I'm arriving at is there is a huge opportunity for improvements when it comes to mental health in Malaysia.
Yes, I'm sure.
Because not opportunistic in any way, but in terms of we have good people doing good work, right? But how is this coordinated, right? And unfortunately, therapist is not a love at first sight. Rarely is it a love at first sight. Right? Meeting the right therapist, where you just move in sync and all that. It takes time.
Okay.
It takes effort.
All right.
And a lot of the times, right, there's nobody who is coordinating this. So rather, instead of being a reactive model, right, we are a model which is very tenured in terms of the duration or the number of sessions that people come to us. And when I say reactive model, we don't let our clients step out of the Kuaya without knowing what's next step. Right? Even from the initial assessments, right, we already give a letter stating, look, this is what we have discussed. We'll give a clinical summary, we'll give treatment goals, and then thereafter we also give plans and recommendations. And the thing is, right, whether or not the client takes it up or not, that's again their decision. But at least we have given them a plan.
Okay.
Right? A plan, and then thereafter making them feel safe within this environment. And that the care is not weighted on medication, is not weighted too much on therapy, but rather bringing all these disciplines into delivering premium mental health care.
Now, we all can see that your space here is thoughtfully designed. How important is that environment in supporting mental health treatment?
Okay. Have you had an experience where you go into a clinic and you experience palpitations?
Yes.
Right? Especially if, let's say, you're going to do a health check.
Yes.
Right? You experience palpitations, right?
Correct.
So that is in terms of physical health. Can you imagine how much strength a person needs to have when they arrive at a mental health care space?
That looks like a normal clinic.
Yeah, that combine the stigma with mental health and that anxiety of getting a health check, right?
Okay.
So exactly like this, that's what we are trying to avoid. If you visit our space, it is not a operational driven design space.
Okay.
Means when clients step into the space, what we want them to feel is, when you go home, the feeling of warmth.
Okay.
Right? That coming home feeling. Yeah. Safe and warm. In terms of that, and because we, our clients encompasses neurodivergent individuals.
Okay.
So you will see muted tones, very neutral. There are textures.
Nothing to excite.
Yeah, that's not what we want to do. We don't want to excite. We don't want to overstimulate somebody.
Sorry, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, somebody who is, who is neurodivergent. Because, this is a foreign place, right? So when they arrive here, they need to, we want them to feel calm. And one of those, I think, spaces that we thoroughly appreciate, not only us, but our clients, will be the pods. We have 5 of those pods.
Okay.
As you said, our space is in Sheraton, KL. To arrive in Sheraton, this part of town, it can be particularly stressful.
Yes.
And imagine if you step into the space, you are ushered straight into therapy.
Correct.
Sometimes, you haven't even, able
Calm
to
down.
gain your, catch your breath.
Correct.
Before you are ushered into therapy. And then you have this really, really intense session of therapy. And then to be pushed out again on the street.
Like, time. Finish. Okay. Thank you.
Exactly. So this is where the pods come into play, right? Where, of course, the practitioner will need to deem the client safe. So we encourage our clients to, use the pods to decompress before and after the therapy session.
Okay.
And also, for some clients who have had sleeplessness, which is so common nowadays, we have these devices called the alpha stims. And it's like these little things where they clip onto the earlobe. And, you sit in there for 20 minutes. It's just tiny, prickly feeling on the earlobe. And so the clients who have used it have come back and said, ask for it again. And also said that from the previous session, their sleep was more, they wake up more refreshed. Yeah. So these are, some of the things that we have put into our space. And also we have a space where some people with social anxiety, some people, with, don't want to meet people, with certain conditions and so on and so forth. We have a private access. So, they can let us know what they prefer, and then we'll bring them up and then to a space before they seek treatment with our practitioners.
Okay. So privacy is very important.
Yeah.
Okay, you talked about earlier they reach out, right? So let's talk about that. So if someone reaches out, especially for the first time, what would the journey be like?
We have a variation of people reaching out to us for the first time, as opposed to reaching out to mental health care.
So there are different ways of reaching out.
Different ways. So we have different entry points for our clients. We have people who have had X number of sessions with X number of practitioners out there, and those people come with, I know it all, that kind of mindset. And then I know, so those clients, they know what they want. So those questions will be like, they know, what do you want? What did you like about it? Why did therapy work and why didn't it work? And so on and so forth. So that is that entry point of probably, I would say, an experienced client. I've also had clients who reach out because most of the time now is a difficulty in terms of challenge in function.
Okay. Explain.
Like sleeplessness is one of the very common one.
Yeah.
Relational issues.
All right.
Relational issues, like, because we live commonly in Malaysia, multi-generational homes.
Oh yes.
Right. And I'm afraid my parent might find out, they're not supportive. You do this, instead of talking to someone. So instead of talking to someone, you should perhaps, turn to prayer, so on and so forth. I think not many centers do this. We spend time to speak to our clients extensively before we match them with a practitioner, because we have realized that when we do that, there are better outcomes. I mean, from my own experience of seeking help, I reach out to a center. We love WhatsApp nowadays.
Correct.
Straight away they give you, this practitioner, and the thing is, they didn't even justify the suitability. You want this practitioner, or this practitioner is available today, this day, this date, and that's it. This is some money paid before, turn up at the session, that's it. Personalized. It's not personalized. It's not, people don't feel contained and safe.
Let's talk about that. The Kuaya services. What do you offer?
We offer a whole variant of mental health care,
Mhm.
and we are also very intentional of because we are a new business,
Correct.
right? And the way we put together the practitioner and the team,
Mhm.
it's very much designed, very much taking into account what is needed by the Malaysian society as well as expats moving
Okay.
here.
Okay.
So whoever who is living and residing in
Mhm.
Malaysia. Not only that, we also take into account neighboring countries, because we have had clients who fly in for treatment and fly out, fly in, fly out, and that's it. You see,
So there's no one treatment.
our model
Mhm.
is very much following, because our parent company is the Soak,
The soap.
the
Okay.
Soak in the UK.
Alright.
Our operational model is based on the Soak in the
Mhm.
UK, so it's following the NICE guidelines.
Okay.
It stands for National Institute for Clinical Excellence in the UK. What we benchmark
Mhm.
against that guide, those kind
Okay.
of quality, and especially when it comes to neurodevelopmental assessments and so on and so
Alright.
forth, we need more than one practitioner
Mhm.
to give input, so that the data collected in terms of delivery of the diagnosis
Okay.
to a client is more accurate.
Okay.
The last thing you want is, this child is clearly autistic,
Yeah.
right? The last thing you want is to deliver an ADHD instead of an autistic
Correct.
diagnosis. I cannot say that we have all the services under the sun.
Mhm.
We have a carefully curated team now,
Mhm.
as a starting team.
Mhm.
Like similarly in the UK, the SOAP started off with 5 clinicians. Now
Wow.
they are at 100 clinicians.
Wow.
So this is the same model that we are having here.
Okay.
We are starting with 8.
Mhm.
Services is growing.
Okay.
I foresee that there'll be like a wait list
I'm sure.
with
I'm sure.
in the near future.
I'm sure.
But yeah, we just have to be ready to anticipate this influx.
All right. What are some of the common mistakes companies are making when they're trying to address mental health?
Mental health is not a tick box. It's not a checklist where you in the list of benefits, psychiatric assessment. It is not a tick box,
Okay.
right? And the thing is, companies need to understand, I don't need a diagnosis
Mhm.
to get help,
Okay.
right? See, this is where early intervention comes into play, right? Because there might be situations where I'm just not feeling right,
Mm.
right? I'm not depressed, but
Mhm.
I'm just not feeling right. The conversation should start there,
Correct.
right? But workplaces,
Mhm.
right, commonly because it's covered by insurance,
Mhm.
as the payer,
Mhm.
and a lot of them say, well, you can only access those benefits if you go and see a psychiatrist. And we all
Mm.
know there's a huge stigma when it comes to seeing a psychiatrist,
Yeah.
right? If let's say I were to go down on the street, and I'm on the street and I ask somebody, oh, I'm going to see a psychiatrist, right? Just there,
Okay.
people will then say, are you crazy?
Yeah. I
Right?
see.
Yeah. So the huge stigma. So this is where we need to talk about modern mental health. How
Okay.
do we help employees thrive?
Is there an approach that actually HR is allowed to take or action or something? If, say, for example, they find out their employees are seeking mental health, is there something like, in their employability, or this person is no longer employable because they are seeing a psychiatrist? Is there such a thing?
According to the law, you can't do that.
You can't
But
do, like, you can't fire the
yeah,
person,
you can't
right?
according
Okay.
to the law. But
Okay.
when push comes to shove, people can get very creative,
Okay.
right? And I've had clients who have been deprived of promotions.
Okay.
I've had clients who are deprived from their role, right?
Wow.
And these are like, I would say these are issues of human rights. You're depriving an individuals of their rights to work,
Okay.
right? So in terms of this, it's sad to see
Mhm.
companies when they have very inclusion, DEI handbooks, but in terms of company culture, that's not the case,
Mm.
right?
It's not
So
practiced.
yeah, it's not practiced. So in terms of this, HR, is there a guidebook? Your question is there, like, I would say it's not cast in stone.
Mhm.
There has been some talks on psychological safety mandating that in the workplace. It's there. What is the enforcement? How is the employee's rights protected?
Correct.
Right? Like if I'm going to tell you, I'm going to see my psychologist today at 11:30. Right? How do you think my fellow co-workers will look at me? The shift in company culture always begins with you, begins with us.
Okay.
Right? When we start mainstreaming the conversations on mental health, we are actually normalizing the help seeking behavior.
All right. Just now we're talking about HR and also how we're trying to avoid or making it a safe space for them, right? For the employees. But let's be honest here, right? Are the HR even, not say trained, but are they even in tune with what is mental wellness all about? Because I'm sure you know, some don't even know the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist. What do you have to say about that?
Okay. I won't even go that far
Okay.
as to talking about the difference between practitioner. I would think about, some people can't even tell between depressed and depression.
Okay.
Right? With that same mindset, right? How do we then point people to the appropriate help?
Okay.
Correct? So in terms of depressed, so back to that, depressed and depression, we can feel depressed on and off. We can, today I can feel depressed 5 times in a day.
Okay.
Right? But that does not mean that I have depression. Right? So
Makes
depression, when we talk about depression, we should refer to it as a clinically diagnosed condition, where it's called major depressive disorder or clinical depression. Right? So in terms of this, same scenario, when somebody is depressed, you can go and speak to someone and essentially get the support that you need. In a lot of the cases, if you catch it at that point, you don't need to be medicated.
Okay.
Right? So in that same breath, I also want to say the difference between a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and a counselor.
All right.
Right? For diagnosis of a mental illness, only a psychiatrist and a clinical psychologist can do that.
Okay.
Okay? A counselor is more skilled to deal with situational circumstances.
All right.
For example, career change. Right? For example, marriage, relational issues. Right? So situational anxiety that is triggered by situational stuff. I've seen counselors do a very good job in especially after the 2023 post-COVID 2024. A lot of people have social anxiety.
Correct.
They have trouble going out and mixing with their friends, and it's situational, right? And I've seen counselors do wonders in that area. So a clinical psychologist can give a clinical kind of diagnosis. And I would say that they are more skilled to drill down to the root cause of the issue.
All right.
Okay. So, and also when I say when they can give diagnosis, it's not a matter of just asking you a few questions and giving you a diagnosis. A clinical psychologist are also trained to do psychometric assessments.
All right.
Okay. So that's the difference. And, psychiatrists, because they're medically trained people, they will they're supposed to give a diagnosis, and essentially they are the people who can use medication as a form of treatment.
Understood. Okay. Specifically, right, for Tropicana, right, how would you collaborate with Tropicana? Would you create certain special workshops or anything like that? Would you or even consider that?
Of course.
Future?
Of course. So you see, Tropicana, tell me the industries.
Yeah, it's property.
Yeah, property industry, right? So the thing is, in the property industry, there are different how would I say, different big departments.
Correct.
And then,
authority.
But then the department, what every department needs is different. Although you're under the brand name of
Correct,
Tropicana.
under the same umbrella.
Yeah. So, but the department. So what happens is, we can carve out solutions for leaders.
Okay.
Right. That's our target market, because if they can drive change from the top, that'll be best. Right. We also can do programs where we train all levels,
Okay.
right? We cannot downplay the role of a human being based on job title. Your department tea lady can make a huge difference in a manager's life because she may be known as the constant in the environment.
Correct.
Right? So
Correct.
when somebody is facing some challenge in their life, they come to work and it's just such a relief to see a constant.
Okay.
Right?
So these small things like.
Yeah. So the thing is, companies thinking, oh, I only want to invest in, this group or that group. But then the thing is, when we want to bring about holistic change, we want to bring from the top, of course, and also holistically at all levels.
Okay.
Because again, when we start talking about mental health in a healthier way, in a more effective way, that's where we can bring about change.
Would you dare to say this is also able to influence how organization is designed?
Right. So, similarly, like I've had clients who say, "Oh, I use ChatGPT or use AI." Right? I use AI. I tell AI what I'm going through, and AI tells me back.
Yeah.
So in this same regard, how can a machine replace human interaction, human connection?
Okay.
Right? So in terms of this, yes, a lot can be changed to make things more effective, right? But then again, this tea lady is a person we are talking about, and I'm not saying that don't fire her and don't buy the buy the coffee machine, but again, she has contributed X number of years to the company, right? Where can I put this person to deliver human value?
Okay.
That should be the question.
All right. What are the early signs that really need to tell them that, okay, I think it's time for them to seek support?
If it affects function, and I say function, it's not only, your ability to go to work 9 a.m. and clock off at 6 p.m. Function also means how are you as an individual? If you're a parent, how are you as a parent? If you're a child, definitely you're a child. What are you as a child? What are you as a sibling? What are you as a co-worker? Are you able to be present in those areas or not?
Okay.
Right? How are you in terms of your relationship?
All right.
Right? Are there any changes in how you think, feel, and behave? Right? In terms of how you think, feel, and behave, is there a situation behind it?
Okay.
Does that change, right? In terms of how you think, feel, and behave, is it resolved even after the situation has resolved?
Okay.
Right. So these are the basic guidelines. And that's very much having the conversation at the early intervention stage.
Okay. Again, back to that person, right? If that person feels hesitant or they're unsure about therapy, what would you say to them?
Nobody is sure about therapy. There's skills that you can learn in terms of therapy, right? And if you're hesitant, you're not sure where to go and what to do, right? The Kuaya is here.
Okay.
I've had so many phone calls, and the thing is, you see, this is what we want to do with the Kuaya in terms of the change. We want to be able to let people know, right, that they have had some form of additional information after that phone call or that contact with us.
Okay.
Perhaps where you can start getting help. How do you access public health care?
Okay.
Right? If let's say finances is a limitation, how do we help these persons navigate JKM, the welfare department?
Correct.
How do we help navigate where do you get referral letter?
Understood. And I think if I recall correctly, besides your the facilities that are paid for, you also have free sessions, right? Like you have this talk. Maybe tell our viewers about it.
Yes. So we run a free monthly public sessions.
Okay.
The first session we did was on ADHD and neurodivergent ADHD and autism.
Okay.
Basically it was for parents of neurodivergent children.
Okay.
At that event we had parents who of already diagnosed children as well as parents who suspect their child has some issues.
Okay.
The second event that we did was perimenopause and menopause, and what every woman should know at the workplace. That event was a huge turnout.
Also, some husbands turned up, right?
Yes, we had some husbands turn up, and that was pleasant. And so this is.
I can imagine the question. Never mind.
And so this is where we want to bring about that change, right? So events is free. There is there is no ROI or the business line to it, but it's actually a cost to us. But the change is in the public awareness. And
so this could be the baby steps into the choir.
Correct, because it's less intimidating.
Okay.
So when they come in, it's just an awareness session where everybody's just listening in and so on and so forth.
All right.
So
viewers out there, you can follow the choir and look up for all these activities so that at least you can know more about what they have before you make that step. If, say, for example, you're hesitant. So what's next for the choir?
We are building and we want to, again, make that change and to get people to realize that actually mental health is not that intimidating. It's not a love at first sight, it's true, but it is something that is very accessible.
Okay.
It can be friendly, it can be warm, and you can be held with a safe pair of hands.
Last question. If we could change just one thing about how Malaysians view mental health, what would that be?
First thing is start looking at mental health like your physical health. Okay. We have your common cough and flu, cough and cold, right? You have your common. So sometimes we can be depressed, sometimes we can be anxious, sometimes we can be a bit more anxious than normal, right? So look at it that way. Like no hesitation to go and see a doctor when you have a flu.
Okay.
Why is it that you don't go and see someone when you are feeling depressed?
Okay.
Right? So see someone before it becomes a diagnosis.
Okay. Well, thank you very much to Ms. Jen for sharing the insights and all the meaningful work you and your team have done here at the choir. And today's conversation reminds us that mental well-being is not just something we think about in times of crisis. It's something we should nurture continuously, just like our physical health, as just mentioned. Now, to everyone tuning in, we hope this session has been very, very helpful. And those viewers at home, don't forget to check us out on t360.com.my and follow us for more updates on our new episodes coming up. With that, thank you very much. It's been great spilling tea with you, Ms. Jen. And before that, come, let's enjoy some tea. Here you go. Your tea, madam.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us to spill the tea. And I do hope to hear more about the choir in the near future.
Thank you. Thank you, Mazin.